Hi ladies and gentlemen, it's Skoldak here. Good to see you all back again. Now, I want to make a video about what happened 2 weeks ago, that, one of the videos I made. Now, I made a important update video, which was from 2 weeks ago, and I basically needed to make it because, I need to let out all the stress and frustration, how to let my subscribers know what's been happening and what's been going on. I think there are two things that I do admit that are wrong with it. First of all, I think it went a little bit over the top. And two, I did explain it very clearly because I was that stressed out. Now, basically, what's happened is that, basically within that update video, I was basically trying to, look for a job. Well, look for another one. Because I left my first job and I had it for since like nearly a year. And I personally left because of two things. One, which was the manager himself, and two, which was the rude, snobby customers that you get for Wokingham that come over to Halfords and Winnersh. And basically, pissing me off with my colleagues and shit like that. And I left because of that. Second job is Quick Fit in Camberley, and I didn't have it for very long because of I had an altercation with a manager, and he called me something that left me basically mentally scarred for life. And I felt really bad because of that, because it wasn't the way I acted, it was the way I struggled at work. So, which meant that I had to go and look for another job again. And basically, the apprenticeship I was supposed to be having in the garage didn't metabolize or didn't meet the criteria because they don't know if I'm going to a college or doing it at work. So that's why it didn't go through. So that was about basically that, really. But so I didn't get the apprenticeship, but it was just not enough communication going on. So that was the reason why. So I think it basically led me into a conclusion that I think, personally, I don't think, I'm right for a motor trade. The reason why I wanted to go into the motor trade is because, basically because, I wanted to learn more about cars, and basically my interest for it sparked off with the Disney Pixar film called Cars, and my parents' cars and my brother's cars and everything like that. And basically my brother, didn't treat his car right. Some neighbours didn't treat their cars right, and basically I wanted to teach people into more about their own cars and how to treat them properly and how to keep them properly maintained, that sort of thing. So that's why I really wanted to go into a motor trade. But what I've learned, was that the motor trade was a very demanding industry, and BCA, the Berkshire College of Agriculture, let me down. Now I can tell you the reason why they let me down is because they didn't train me properly. The teaching wasn't very good. They were very complicated, and the qualification they provided me was only level 2. And I really wanted to progress up to level 3, but I couldn't provide that because, they were really terrible. So that was basically why I couldn't get any opportunities in the motor trade, which leads me into a conclusion that the motor trade is not right for me. I know this may seem like, a big huge shock, but it actually is quite true. I'm not fit for the motor trade at the moment. Because the problem is, the motor trade is such a demanding industry that whenever something goes wrong in another person's car, like for example, like need a headlight bulb replaced, battery replaced, wiper blades, wheels, you know, injectors, spark plugs, new coolant, new radiator. The list goes on, and it's absolutely endless. The list goes on, and that's where it gets absolutely demanding. And that you had to meet a certain, you know, time limit or a certain time frame within working in a garage, and you know that is very stressful. And it would, and it's not only. I'm not only saying that for myself. I'm saying that for other people who, you know, who work in the motor trade or basically wants to get into the motor trade, because it can be absolutely very stressful, and you know some cars can be absolutely complicated to work on, you know, because of that. So that was basically, you know, why I couldn't be in a motor trade at the moment, because I don't feel like I'm not right for it. So, which is a sad shame because I really wanted to be in it. But the thing is, I will still be partially involved in a motor trade. So it doesn't mean I'm like leaving a motor trade fully. I'm not saying that. I'm still partially involved because I still have good knowledge of, like, you know, knowing a lot about cars and, you know, how they work, etc. And you know, I'm still very keen to like learn more about it, cars and stuff like that. But it's just at the moment I don't think that I can, you know, continue, you know, with the career direction in the motor trade, which means I have to go and find something else to do rather than just, you know, be in a motor trade. And basically, more things is that I had a lot of shit going on, you know, way back. Basically, had a lot of shit going on within myself, and it was bringing a lot of stress on me. And I could have basically, you know, it was like I was basically suffering a massive burnout, which is basically chronic stress. You know, I'm basically chronically stressed, and I need to like recover from it as much as I can. So it is basically right now things are basically been a bit difficult for me at the moment. So I couldn't like, you know, figure out where to go from there. But and it literally put me in a cage of depression. That's what basically burnout does to you. So basically burnout is chronic stress. It can literally put you in a cage of depression. And I ended up procrastinating a lot because of stress. Stress can easily make you procrastinate and can easily put you in a cage of depression, which you really do need to break out of. And that was basically what happened to me. But I managed to break out of it. So it's basically, it's very difficult to break out of, but I managed to get there eventually. So it's just, you know, some things have been really difficult for me. And like, my dog had to be put down due to cancer. And a lot of bad things have been, you know, been happening this year for me. It's not been really good. So it's been really difficult. So, but I want to say to my subscribers, you know, thank you very much for being sticking part with me, you know, on my YouTube channel, you know, for their understanding and for their patience. And I know some of you are well aware that I have Asperger's syndrome, which is a high functioning form of autism, which means I might find things a lot more difficult, or may not be concentrated, or maybe socially awkward, or I may act a bit, you know, out of line, or act a bit weird or something like that. But the thing is, I'm not perfect. I don't try to be perfect. I don't want to please everyone. I only want to please myself, and that's it. And you know, that's the thing, you know. And you know, I've always, you know, been trying. You know, I always keep on trying. You know, I always keep on going. And I did loads of fuck ups. I did loads of mistakes. But the main important thing is just learn from them, because everyone fucks up and makes mistakes, and that's life. You know, you gotta have to put up with it. It's not something you can, you know, can stop from doing, because you know no one's perfect and everyone fucks up. That sort of thing. I make mistakes, and everyone makes mistakes. So, predictably, I'm just only saying that I'm not perfect. So basically, I just want to say I apologise for what I just basically said in the important update video that I did explain clearly, and the fact that personally I went a little bit over the top. So it was basically just that. So I'm going to be planning of making a lot of changes to myself. So basically, what I'll be doing is that I'm going to have to take a new career direction and basically, do something new, do something that I might find interesting or something like that. And maybe possibly get back in the music scene because I really wanted to be back into a band and do something completely new from there, really. Because I've always liked playing in music, and I really want to be back on the guitar and be back into a band and be touring a lot and stuff like that. But sometimes these things do take patience. And there's always an important thing always to have patience, because patience is always a virtue. I know some people get patient, lose a rag and just basically just freak out a lot and start overthinking. But the thing is, if you have a lot of patience, it's always a good virtue. It can stop you from overthinking, because overthinking leads to stress, stress leads to procrastination, and also stress can lead to a lot of depression, which it basically did to me. And the fact that I wasn't prioritizing enough. So basically, as it's summer holidays and people want to do like a lot of things in the summer, like go to the beach, go somewhere nice on holiday, do some really cool things with your mates and stuff like that. Get drunk, have a good night out, that sort of shit. But the problem is, because the thing is, you're trying to juggle your personal life and your working life, and it can produce a lot of stress, and that's what I basically found out myself. Trying to find a job while I was trying to enjoy life. But I will still keep on going. I'm not gonna let anything stop me, because I know that I've been through a lot of shit in my life. But the thing is, I will never let it beat me up. I know that I've done a lot of fuck ups and a lot of mistakes, but the thing is, that's life. You can't stop doing it. You have to learn from your mistakes and keep it as a lesson, and let it stick with you, for the rest of your life. And hopefully, you'll be a much better person than you are. And I'm saying that for myself, and also for you lot out there. And also, I will still be doing hair update videos as much as I can, because I'm not going to stop doing them. I will never stop doing them, because I want to make sure that that everyone's happy, because that's all I want to do. Make everyone happy. Make everyone have a good time of their lives and stuff like that. And that's why I'm basically thinking that I might be wanting to go back into retail, because comparing it with a motor trade to retail, it's kind of like less stressful, working retail, even though it's unpredictable. But I just want to be more social within my own working life and stuff like that. And that's I basically miss Halfords as much as I hate working there, because of all the good colleagues that I've enjoyed getting on well with and all the banter they had. But the truth is, it's just I left because I needed to sort myself out. I need to sort out my, my stress burnout issues, and basically need to, take a breather and just cool off and calm, just try and break out of a fucked up trance that I'm in, that sort of shit. But I just don't know. I just really want to be back into a more happy job, be back into more happy places, work into a job that I like, and just go from there, just make it work, that sort of thing. So yeah, anyways, thank you very much for watching this video, and just want to say to all my subscribers, thank you very much for your understanding, and thank you very much for your patience. I know that I've been away for a while, but I will make sure, I'll promise everyone that I will get the hair update videos back, and give you some nicer prices there and stuff like that. So just keep stay tuned on my channel, just keep on subscribed, and I'll make sure I'll get some more videos in the making. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and see you later. Scott out. Peace.